I am humbled, I am privileged, I'm delighted to be the 24th president of your college. This is a wonderful odyssey that's beginning. There's a long way to go, but it is a humbling process to be, as the chairman aptly pointed out, the president of a college that is older than our nation and shares a birthday with the United States Marine Corps. Before I go further, I'd also like to say that I want to acknowledge my predecessor, and I will acknowledge President Walter Borch and his fine First Lady Lorraine Borch over and over. He has been a Hampden-Sydney man. He has been the most gracious individual when it comes to the turnover. He has opened his doors, he has opened his files, he's opened his life to me, and he's been wonderful. And I commend Walter. I'm just going to say a few more things about this college of ours and this idea of a vision. Now, Ann Whitmore, who was on the selection committee and for some reason was crazy enough to choose me to be the president, talked to me months ago. I said, what are you going to say about your vision for the college? And I started thinking about this whole idea about a vision. This vision thing is George H-SC spoke of. And I think that it's incorrect to have a vision for college per se at this point. Like I said before, I can barely name all the buildings and tell you where the restrooms are. Now, having said that, because visions are sustainable and they're a team effort. And this team, this family, the faculty, the alumni, the staff, the senior cabinet, we will work together formally and informally to have a proper vision for Hampden-Sydney College. I think what we are afforded as a new person coming into a role like this is hopes and dreams for an institution. Hopes and dreams for an institution. And by the way, I was down at Hampton Roads today. I was in Norfolk. Anyway, Beeler Brush. Beeler, put your hand up. If I had a gun, I'd shoot you. Beeler Brush said, Mr. President, we're going to go today and we're going to do a little bit of shaking hands and meeting a few people. He drove me 300 miles today. Beeler, like I said, I'm going to shoot you next time I see you. But I tell you, that's the kind of effort that you should expect from your senior staff, from the president on down. It's not really down, it's sort of sideways. I don't see it downward. So that's what you got to expect. I've been on the job 15 days. I've met about 1,000 people and driven damn near 1,000 miles. But you can expect that going forward. But what I lack in competency, I make up for it effort, right, honey? A college president can have hopes and dreams for college. And I think that those dreams, in my opinion, fall into 3 categories. I think a college has a mind, a body, and a spirit. It has a mind, a body, and a soul. I think that the college has done an exceptional job under the leadership of President Borch working on the mind. The faculty is outstanding. Professor Marion in the Wilson Center, Professor Thornton in economics. The list goes on. Professor Kidd, who just stepped down in fine arts. We have fine faculty. The body of the college is in doggone fine shape. The Borch Library is looking great. The Everett Stadium looks great. The body of the college looks great. Now, we have some work to do there, but the body looks great. Now, the soul of the college is wonderful. There's a seamless web that runs back over 200 years that speaks to this long Garnett line, to borrow a phrase from my sister college, West Point, the Long Gray Line, and it's very special. But I want to spend some time, and as a college, and I hope that we as a family, and you as alumni, you as faculty, you as staff would be a part of joining me on this, and with the students most importantly, is working on the soul of the college. I want us to think about, from every Hampden-Sydney man, every Hampden-Sydney man, understanding that the soul of this college and the ethos of this college is one of collective and individual responsibility. In essence, you are your own keeper. And I know we have some students here. And you are your brother's keeper. Now, I came to Hampden-Sydney College because it's a small, tight family. And I think that it's okay to say in a place like Hampden-Sydney, maybe you can't say it at VCU, maybe you can't say it at Old Dominion, maybe you can't say it at UVA, but you can say at Hampden-Sydney that you are your brother's keeper. You're responsible for making sure that he comports himself the way that a Hampden-Sydney man ought. And again, I'm not here with the ruler to rap on anybody's knuckles. I'm not here to point fingers. I am here to be a part of this process that says, we happy few, we band of brothers, we take care of each other. We are responsible. We comport ourselves a certain way. I am a Hampden-Sydney man. I'm proud to be that. Collective and individual responsibility are the first things I wanted to mention. One of my very dear mentors, Ambassador Ed Perkins, said years ago, he was the first African-American U.S. ambassador to South Africa. He says, Chris, I don't necessarily have to have the best and brightest. Just give me the best and most committed. If you will commit yourselves to this collective and individual responsibility in the soul of this college, we will have a great college. It doesn't take 20 million, 30 million, how much do we need, Beeler? $200 million. It doesn't take $200 million for us to comport ourselves like Hampden-Sydney men. Second point. I would like us to think about, and my hope and dream for the college is to close this chasm between the Dean of Students and the Dean of Faculty. We have wonderful Dean of Students. We have a wonderful Dean of Faculty. Students get a great classroom education. They get great character development on the football field, lacrosse field, debate program, and what have you. Now, the deal is this, though. As Mark Twain said, never let your schooling get in the way of your education. Never let your schooling get in the way of your education. We have to realize that there's a false dichotomy between these two worlds. You can learn character from your physics professor, right? You can learn character from your physics professor, and you can have a conversation about the events of the day with the football coach. And you know what? The physics coach and the football coach live next door to each other, and they're talking about you anyway. That's special about Hampden-Sydney. And so I want to continue to provide these programming and encourage the faculty and the staff to bring these worlds together, because I think that that's how you create Hampden-Sydney man, is by bringing those worlds together and not recognizing that false dichotomy. In that point, I would say that whether it be extracurricular, co-curricular, or curricular, it doesn't matter. It's about educating these fine men to come to our college. My final point in regards to the hopes and dreams of the institution. I think that we need to, again, remind ourselves and continue to refine what it means to be a Hampden-Sydney man. What does it mean to be a Hampden-Sydney man? It means more than just signing an honor code. Our honor code is spectacular. It's wonderful. It means more than singing our school hymn. It means more than wearing a tie to a football game. There's something deep in that, and we will be in a long discourse and conversation about what it means to be a Hampden-Sydney man. And in addition, along the way we might recognize this. There's not just one Hampden-Sydney man, but rather there are Hampden-Sydney men. He might look a little differently than you did when you were there 150 years ago. He might look a little different than the person that you room with, or that you trekked over from Longwood or Sweetbriar to hang out with. And that's okay. And we'll have a conversation about that, about what it means to be a Hampden-Sydney man, and respecting that there are Hampden-Sydney men, and that is just fine. So to reiterate, my hopes and dreams of the college are that we would work on the college's soul, that we think about collective and individual responsibility in all we do, that we would close that chasm between Dean of Students and Dean of Faculty in a very positive sense, and finally respect that there are Hampden-Sydney men and that there are Hampden-Sydney men. Now, what can you do for us? You couldn't get out of here without me doing an ass. Beeler is blocking the doors. But I have to make my ass, but it won't be the kind of ass like that, although we're happy to take your money. We'd like you to tell us your stories. Go on the website today. You can actually click on there, and you can hear me giving a little spiel. Oh, you're tired of hearing me now. And you can actually get instructions to go and videotape a 2-minute story or so about Hampden-Sydney. 2, send us your students. If you see the beautiful hat walking around, that's the Dean of Students. That's the Dean of Admissions, Anita Garland. And she does an amazing job, but she needs your help. She cannot do it by herself. There is no better person to identify Hampden-Sydney men. So I found 2 already. They happen to be my children. Hampden-Sydney men than you. Thirdly, get to the Hampden-Sydney Fund. You know it's coming. You were waiting for it. Waiting till the very end. So I asked that this Hampden-Sydney Fund, which is basically the annual fund, is our unrestricted money we give each year between $2 and $3 million. That is something, and I'm writing a check too. And so we need to make sure that we're supporting the college, supporting the Hampden-Sydney Fund. And I'm sorry that it's gone so long. My wife's going to be mad at me when I sit down, but it's been a real pleasure, and I look forward to shaking your hands. Have a great evening.